just because they choose to be a contract-based worker doesn't mean that they're any less part of the team. Everyone is considered an UNCONSULTANT, and so we treat them as such.
Any other things that you're doing, Meg, on your approach and how you're setting Inspirant apart?
I mean, I'm super proud of the team and the culture. You mentioned a couple of the awards, and those aren't everything, but what I appreciate is that they survey our team, and so our team is happy. I mean, we're getting 100%, happiness across the board on all these different areas, and it's just like, for me, it's like, yeah, that's what we set out to do. I mean, it's like seeing your dream come true, which is amazing. Something I think that's a little bit of a differentiator for us as well is that I mentioned our 25 to 75 ratio of W-2s to 1099 employees. Sorry is everyone here in the States? So sometimes I forget who am I? Okay, so full-time employees to contract-based employees. And that's intentional because we are small and nimble and we're still growing. So I left my great job in 2012 because they weren't flexible. I had 2 little kids, and I actually spent a lot of time putting together a proposal for a 4-day work week so I could have 3 days with my young children at home. And it was rejected outright. Like, it wasn't even a conversation. I was like, no, we just don't do that here. And I was like, but you could, look at what I put together. So I quit. And I told them in the exit interview, I said, I would have stayed if you would have just let me be a little more flexible in my job. But I was a high performer. I always got the highest rating on my review. And I, was always looking to innovate and do new things. And so, I like to think that they lost someone talented, but I left, and everything happens for a reason. So when we started Inspirant, I said, look, if we're going to have a contract worker based model, they're part of the Inspirant family. Like, I know there's US, there's certain laws where we can't treat them entirely as employees, but they're part of the culture. Like, we set them up with a mentor when they first start, and they're invited to our social events. And we just had a lunch and learn this afternoon. We're here to support them as if they were part of the team. And, just because they choose to be a contract-based worker, or we're testing them out before we hire them on full time, doesn't mean that they're any less part of the team. So I like to think that's one of our big differentiators as well. Everyone is considered an UNCONSULTANT, and so we treat them as such. They all get the swag and the welcome. And I think it really makes for people who are really committed and dedicated to our organization.
There's sometimes I literally hit my head and I think to myself, that is so obvious, and yet it's not in the marketplace. And so I think one of the things that I think that's so obvious is, if you treat your people like transactions, come in, work your 40 hours a week, here's your paycheck, go home, I don't care about you, I don't know your families, I don't know your kids, then you're going to get that level of work from people. And yet, when you bring people in and you create a transformational relationship, it changes the dynamic of what is possible. And, one of the things I say is that I'm always trying to build world-class relationships. And the only way you can do that is if you love your people and you create transformational relationships where both of us are getting better. And that, to me, is just way more fun. And, as I look at it, it's a best place to lead. That's a more fun place to be and show up every day and make an impact. Because, man, if I don't care about these people, well, go do something else that you do care about.